This is the Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network. We're here. We're excited because we're going over, finally, after 2 years of not having an MCU movie to watch in theaters, we are watching a new MCU movie. Joined with me today is Cody. Dallas is not here today because big news. Dallas's brother just got drafted to the Anaheim Angels as a pitcher. Congratulations, Kyler. Big news. Job, we're all big Angels fans, and boy, if there's a team that needs a good pitcher like you, Kyler, it is the Angels. So,
amen.
Yes, we are excited. So Cody and I are going over Black Widow. We're excited.
Are we?
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't fake me out or whatever. Try to make me think like you hate it. I feel like you'd like this one. I don't think you love it. Okay. But I think you really like it.
Really?
No, stop that. Stop. No. You're playing mind games with me.
I'm not playing any mind games.
You're not playing any mind games?
No.
Were you excited to see this?
No, I was hesitant.
Why?
Just hearsay from everybody I've read online and whatnot. So
like what? Like what were you hearing?
Oh, I don't know.
Like a bunch of SJW woke garbage stuff?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Really? I didn't hear any of that.
So I was nervous for it. I mean, sometimes that takes me out of it. Sometimes it doesn't. Surprisingly, that's not the part I didn't. I didn't see any of that, really.
I don't think I saw a single thing.
No.
Definitely wasn't a Captain Marvel shove it down your throat type.
Exactly.
Force feed you.
Exactly. So I wasn't. So that part I was pleasantly surprised with.
Mm-hmm.
You're correct. I didn't love it. I didn't really like it. I liked it. It's okay. It was okay for me.
It's a solid okay.
Solid okay.
I would be interested. I think I want to talk up your score. I want to see if I could convince you. Because I'll tell you what, I loved it.
Okay.
I don't think it was perfect. I don't think it's number one or even in the top three, but I say it's top tier. And for me, I always say this: characters, character development, understanding, name of the game.
Yeah. And
I think we get a lot of that in this movie. A lot of backstory, and I think it's simple enough for a story like this that takes place in between two major points in the MCU.
Yeah, it's about 6 years or 5 years too late.
I think it's perfect timing.
You think so?
This is my theory. It's killing it in the box office, and
it's the only thing out.
No. Yes. I think the pandemic is one of the better things to happen to Marvel, because this was slated to come out a year after Spider-Man: Far From Home. Mm-hmm. I think that's way too soon for what we were coming off of for Endgame. I think waiting 2 years for a new Marvel movie was perfect, and I think coming out with something, I don't want to use the word subtle, but something as subtle as this is the right move, right?
That's a good word. I think it was pretty subtle.
So, something in the past, a character we already know. We don't have to relearn a character, right? We know what they're about, what they do for the most part. It's easy thinking.
Yeah, it wasn't too hard to think during the movie. That's for sure. So you'll have a chance to up my score. I'll say that. I'm going to work hard. Because I just barely watched it.
Okay.
Went to the 12:30 showing, watched it, and then just drove straight here.
Awesome.
So it's fresh in my mind. So I'm like, okay, Brandon, because I knew you kind of hinted that you liked it earlier in the week. And so I'm like, Brandon will have an opportunity to maybe up my score a little bit, because right now it's sitting about a C plus for me.
Okay, so in math terms.
In my math terms?
Yeah, no, I'm saying in real math terms, a C is between like 70 and 80.
Yeah.
70 to 79, right? So that would put your score at around a 7.
Yes.
What's your score? Give me your score.
See, I'm like, hey, I can't give it a 7, so maybe you can get it up to a 7. I was going to think like a 6.5.
Gosh, that just... You and I just think so differently. You start from 0 and work your way up. I start from 10 and work my way down.
Yeah.
Do you deem it worth a watch?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's...
Without hesitation.
I'll
probably watch it again.
Okay.
So it might be higher. I don't know. See, I have to remember. It's hard for me to remember what I score other ones, like the Falcon and Winter Soldier and Scarlet Witch and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I think 6.5 coming straight out of the theater. You're just going off of gut.
Yeah.
Right now, it's all gut.
Yeah.
We got to think about it. We got to talk about it and find that score. So I would say your score's like Play-Doh right now, in the sense it's pretty malleable. There's nothing set in stone. We'll figure it out. Here's my score that is set in stone. Because I've had the weekend. I'm giving it a 9.
Oh my heavens.
And like I said, characters are the name of the game. The name of the game. Characters are the name of the game. I'm going to say this 1,000 times. So I'm going to sound like Dave Portnoy, constantly repeating what he's just said. Right. Look, there's only one thing that really bothered me, and the one thing is what brought down the full point. To me, full point for one thing is a big deal, right? Because usually there's several factors that go into a drop. Taskmaster, what a waste. Just awful use. Not good. And I think we'll get into that later, but I wanted to clarify that other than Taskmaster, for the most part, I have nothing but really positive things to say. I like learning more about Natasha, right? And I love the family twist. Because you watch the trailers and you think, okay, I just came off of Endgame, where she said, "Oh, the Avengers are the only family I ever had," and you're watching the trailer and you think, "Wait, she knew her parents and her sister the whole time?" Yeah, and then it gets worse. The opening of the movie, they're in Ohio with American accents.
I was a bit confused.
I was just so confused.
Right? What are they trying to pull here? But I don't know. Well, we'll see. So Taskmaster for me was definitely not a selling point.
I would say horrible. I would use that word.
Not for me. It wasn't horrible for me, but
it was for me.
Forgettable for me.
Definitely forgettable.
Natasha was great. Her family dynamic was great. I don't know. Should we start at the beginning with Ohio?
The huge curveball. Yes.
That was a good opening scene. I enjoyed that scene.
Yeah.
And they had big adventures coming up, and they're all kids, and they run to the plane and get shot out by S.H.I.E.L.D. and
and I'm gonna keep calling him Hopper, even though
I can never remember his real name. He does great.
Red Guardian. Okay, look, I need to get this out now so I could bring it up. I think her name's Yelena. No, the sister's name. Yelena, and then Red Guardian. Steal the movie. Absolutely steal the movie.
I agree.
It's tough. Big Scarlett Johansson fan, big Black Widow fan. Love it, but she feels in second place. Yeah. Which is fine.
No, that bothers me.
Does it bother you?
Yes.
I would say it's fine because I think they're looking towards the future of the MCU.
That's what bothers me. It's because does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a because people have been clamoring for a Black Widow movie since 2012? Ever since they saw
ever since Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, right? They're like, oh, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. Well, she got a little more established after the Avengers, right? I mean, she wasn't that big a part of Iron Man 2.
No, she wasn't a huge part of Iron Man. But she was a big part of Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Yeah, so she got more introduced. That's when they started clamoring for, me, myself included. Yeah. I wanted a Black Widow movie.
Absolutely.
So that's how I feel. It's
do you feel
late for me.
You feel let down?
Yeah. Because I feel like they're just like, oh, fine, we'll shoehorn this movie into our lineup, but we'll build characters for the future more so than give us a Black Widow movie.
Do you not like this idea then? Because Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, has come out and stated that for Phase 4, they do have planned to come out with more movies that take place in between other MCU events just like this. Do you think that's a bad idea?
It's hard for me to argue against Kevin.
Yeah. No.
It might work, but for me, it didn't work with Black Widow.
See, I'm looking forward to it because, like I said earlier, I think Black Widow's the great subtle restart to the MCU.
Okay.
Right? Like, we're just coming off of Endgame. Biggest cinematic event of cinema history, right? Just huge. 10 years, 3 phases, 22 movies in the making.
Yes.
What do you do after that? Obviously,
that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about it. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not, because I see where they're going right now.
I feel like they do the same movie over and over again right now. That's what kind of turns me down with this Black Widow movie.
What does this feel like to you then?
I kind of just phoned it in. I didn't feel like there was snippets of each movie from like Civil War, Winter Soldier, just not done as well.
It definitely has a Winter Soldier vibe.
Yeah.
to it, which I think is fair because they're both like spy movies.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Right. But look.
Does that make sense, though?
No, it makes sense, right?
So I feel like they have this...
I think that's a fair opinion. I just disagree in a sense. I'm looking forward to this new way of doing it. If Phase 4 is just a bunch of smaller movies, and that's what Marvel uses to reset things before they come out with a new extended storyline, I'm fair game for that. And starting it off with a character we already know.
Oh, I'm not going to like scoff at it or whatever. This makes me nervous, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It makes me more nervous about it. So, well,
you know, Kevin Feige, we trust. So, hey, stick with us. We're going to keep talking Black Widow. We're going to keep talking some of the good stuff and get more into the storyline. This is The Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network. Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network, going over Black Widow, the newest addition to the MCU. Just Cody and I today, and we've had some differing of opinions, right?
Surprise, surprise.
I know. Nothing new. That's all good. This is what...
Yeah, this is good.
This is what we need.
So convince me that it's higher than 6.5.
Here's something I want to talk about that I thought was fantastic.
Lower than 6.5. Because I'm still malleable.
You're still malleable, yeah.
Yeah.
Something I enjoyed that I have never enjoyed in another MCU movie. Never. Black Widow is the only one that has this.
Okay.
I loved the opening credits.
Yes, that was a good song.
The cover Nirvana. Of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana with like all the Soviet era looking brainwashing type secret agent.
Yeah, felt like I was getting brainwashed.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I did. I don't know,
but it almost... This is too strong of a word, but it's the only word that comes to mind. Almost disturbing, right? It almost had the same effect of the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when you're going through the tunnel and all the weird things are popping up.
I didn't get that vibe. No, I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying. That's how I'm trying to explain it to like the audience, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching those opening credits and I kept thinking, this is amazing.
I'll give you that. See that the first I was really hyped. Like the first, I don't know.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Well, I'm surprised nothing hyped after that.
It felt generic.
Yes, and I agree with you, but I'm saying that's done on purpose. It's meant to be generic.
But why? Because I wanted a Black Widow movie, and I don't feel like I got it. I felt like I got it in moments, obviously.
But see, it's tough to argue. It's tough to argue because I've already said that Red Guardian and Yelena really stand out.
They do.
Right? And I think that's a lot of stuff.
And I enjoyed that. But
I still feel satisfied with the Black Widow aspect for a few reasons.
Okay.
One, the twist at the end with the big bad guy. I love it because it shows she's always in control. Right?
Yes.
There's no getting a one-up on her. It's the low-key scene from the Avengers again.
Yes.
Right? Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you think maybe she got the upper hand.
Low-key. Sorry. Low-key, I thought you meant low-key.
Low-key. It's like, no, like low-key. Like
the Loki, yes.
Yeah. Great series, by the way, which we'll be talking about soon.
I'm excited for that one.
Very excited for that one. No, and...
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying, like, look, when she, pretends like she can't kill him and then punches him in the face and...
Well, she can't at that moment.
Yeah.
Because of the pheromones or whatever.
Yeah, she broke her nose, right? She's always in control.
She can kill him.
Yeah, and like she's always in, so that I love that.
That was very Black Widow. I agree with you. I enjoyed that part.
And look, here's the thing. I don't think I can't even remember that dude's name. Whoever that dude starts with a D or something. Him and Taskmaster, I don't think are the real villains. I think they're side villains. This is what I'm going to argue. This is going to be my profound movie insight. The real villain is her past. The villain of this movie is her past, and this is
her demons from the past.
Her demons, her actions from the past. Right, the Red Room and her blowing up the girl.
Yeah,
right. The villain is her past and her reconciling that and making it right. That's why she was like, so let's just go. What am I going to do now? Kicked out of the Avengers. I'm a international war criminal.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go do as much good as I can. That's the character development I'm talking about, right? What is she going to do? She's not going to sit around. She's going to continue to do her good, right?
I'll give you that. That's good. That's a good point.
See, I don't think people realize that. I think the true villain of this, because I think MCU gets a lot of crap for not having the best villains. Yellow Jacket,
which is true.
Yeah, it really doesn't have Ronan the Accuser, right? These aren't like fantastic villains, and I think people are going to use this. They are not the true villains. This true villain, Black Widow's past.
Okay, so it's a self villain.
Yes.
Self-demons that you have to overcome.
She's freeing the women of the Red Room.
Yes.
Right? And in doing so, frees her sister, reconciles with her family.
Okay.
Right? And then reconciles with Taskmaster.
You bumped my score up a little bit there.
See?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you how much yet. But
no, save it for the end. I don't want to know.
But no, that's
why it felt like a Black Widow movie to me. And this is something that I didn't realize later. I always felt that during the movie. And I'm going to credit... Scarlett Johansson was a producer on this, and Kevin Feige has says while she may not continue acting in the MCU, she will be continuing to be involved in future MCU films, producing, directing, writing. She's going to be involved, right?
Yeah. And
I think it's credit to the crew they brought onto this movie for making, at least for me, always feel like that was the main villain.
Gotcha. I'm just looking up the cast so we can start.
Let me get all of that. Yelena, right?
Yeah.
It says Tony Stark is in that movie. Really?
What?
Alexi. Okay, so Alexi. Yeah, that's right. That's
Tony Stark.
Yeah, it says in the credits right there that Robert Downey Jr. was in this.
He was mentioned.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. Maybe if you're Robert Downey Jr., you have such a tight grip on Marvel Studios that if you're even mentioned, you have to give him credit. If Tony Stark's name is even dropped, you have to give Robert Downey Jr. an acting credit.
Dracoff.
There we go.
That's the bad guy. Anyway,
forget it. Who cares?
Captain America was mentioned. Where's Chris Evans?
I don't think Chris Evans has as much pull as Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, he really doesn't.
Oh, that's so much money. Anyway,
yeah. Look, and that's why get to this. This is my argument on why it feels like a Black Widow movie.
Okay. I'll concede a little bit to you.
You see where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I got you with that one. But let's go back to the baddies of the MCU because they are lacking.
They are.
And that's why I kind of feel like, I guess it's the same movie over and over again. That's the question I have for you. Going forward, I know this is not very Black Widow related, but going forward, how are they going to change what they've done in the past? Because every Marvel movie, for me at the end, started to feel very similar, right? There's bad guy, good guy. It's all the same, right? It's the hero.
You're absolutely right. 100%.
So that's why I think I enjoyed Infinity War a lot, because it was different.
Infinity War, in theory, correct me if I'm wrong, nothing has ever been done in the comic book movie genre, right?
Yeah.
Can we think of a movie where they lose that badly?
No, not really.
I can't think of one, right? No Dark Knight. No anything else. No Justice League. No Batman. No Superman.
See, it sets the stakes up. Like, maybe that's the other reason with Black Widow. I was like, we know she survives,
and
when she's falling through the air or almost gonna, I guess, die or whatever, the stakes didn't feel elevated.
Well, I think the stakes are made to feel on the other characters.
Okay.
Right? Like, is Alexi, is Red Guardian going to survive? Because let me tell you, if they don't bring David Harbour back as the Red Guardian in future movies, I'm going to be so pissed, because he was incredible. Amazing.
So when he's in prison, right? Arm wrestling everybody. Which is impossible to do a tattoo that way, by the way.
Yeah. Not in Mother Russia, man.
I don't care what it looks like. I'm just going to keep arm wrestling while you give me a tattoo on my back. No squiggles anywhere. It must be a heck of an artist.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. No. So was he saying that he fought Captain America?
He did, but I think he's lying.
Okay.
Right, obviously Captain, and he was called out on it too.
Yeah, that's why he broke the guy's wrist.
Well, here's the thing. In the comics, they alluded to this a little bit in the movie. Red Guardian is essentially the Soviets' version of Captain America,
Right.
Right? He has the bright suit and all the colors, and he's the super soldier, and he's the, representing the sickle and hammer, or whatever you want to call it, right? One thing I'm going to shout out, but how nice is it that we have Russians as the bad guys in movies again, right? In the Red Room, come on. These are very obviously made to feel like the Soviets.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels great.
Feels right. All's well in the world.
All is well in the world. But look, that prison break scene, David Harbour's comedic take, right? Everything just fantastic.
That's what I want to talk about in the next segment.
The comedy?
Yes.
That'll be all segment, because oddly this movie was hilarious. I think there were a lot of times where I found myself laughing pretty hard.
Okay.
Would you agree?
I would disagree.
Yeah, you didn't think. All right,
that's what I want to talk about in the next segment.
Well, you've piqued my curiosity now, because you didn't laugh.
We gotta go.
Well, we'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into the next segment. Hey, stick with us. This is The Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network. Welcome back, everyone. This is The Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network, going over Black Widow. And as we promised in the last second, we'll talk a little bit about the comedy, because apparently we're split here. I thought it was a funny movie, and Cody, you didn't.
There was... So, what I wanted to talk about. There was funny moments.
Okay.
But that's the problem I guess I had with it. Is I feel like when they're getting deep and they're getting into like a serious conversation or something like that, I feel like it's a very Marvel thing to do. They kill it with comedy.
Tough to argue.
So I felt it a little bit more in this movie than I have in the past movies. Maybe because I'm expecting it. I don't know.
I would agree in one scene particular, you didn't need a comedy, and that's when Yelena runs off, cries in her room, and Alexei goes and follows her and tries to give her the dad speech and just...
Yeah, the ice and the...
Yeah, but then I think they make up for it by singing the American Pie song.
That's what I'm saying. Like right there, I know that they had a moment, I think, instead of him getting shot with 20 darts, right? Which was semi-funny.
That was pretty funny.
Right?
The one dart's like, it's going to take more than that.
Which was funny. But it was at a moment where it was building to where maybe they could have done it later, I feel like they could have fought some more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like that moment was ended too quickly.
Well, I think it was to make up and to be made up in other scenes. But I agree with you.
But you know what I'm saying? That it seems like that's what they do. And then the whole helicopter scene, that was a little, I don't know, sketchy for me when she was telling him.
You don't like the whole fallopian tubes and ovaries and hysterectomy thing?
You can talk about it, but in a comedic way, it fell flat for me.
Look, the actress Florence Pugh. I've heard it a million. Pugh, yeah.
That sounds better.
She is a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she did great.
And I think they're setting up her character to not necessarily be comedic all the time, but that's her personality is... Yeah. Straightforward, call you out, sarcastic,
which is fine. I agree. That's fine. But it felt I was uncomfortable.
I never got that feeling.
Because I don't know.
Were you not laughing at the whole you do the pose and flip your hair thing?
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was hilarious. I was dying.
And then she posed later on.
And then she's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. No, those, like I said, there are parts of this that hit me and I laughed. But there's other, like the parts we're talking about, I felt like that part particular, I felt like it was too middle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It wasn't serious enough and it wasn't funny enough.
It went back and forth because it started serious, went comedy, went to serious, and went to comedy again.
So just that part stuck out to me.
And that's a fair argument against Marvel. They've always had that with when they take the serious scenes and they throw their comedy on them. But that, we know that Marvel is more the family movies.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying. But kind of going back to our conversation before, are they going to do something different in the future? Are they going to keep this same mold? And because I feel like people are getting tired of it.
It's tough to say.
Maybe not the true Marvel big fans like yourself, but the common person is going to be like, because I've had people talk to me about it that are just common moviegoers and not comic fans. And they're like, it's the same thing over and over again. There's a bad guy, there's a good guy.
Well, I see. I think they do that to play for... I would almost disagree in the sense that their formula is made for the not so intense fan.
Okay. I could see that too. I mean,
I think it's a side effect of the medication, right? And what I mean by that is they are trying to create movies for a wide range of audiences. Mm-hmm. How old's your son, Stockton?
9. Do
you think he'd enjoy Black Widow?
Yes.
Right? Okay, yeah. So look, they're targeting to enjoy the 9-year-olds.
My 6-year-old daughter is going to love it.
Yeah. So they're going to love it, right? They have to have aspects for those kids to love it so they grow up with it, right? Mm-hmm. Movies about escapism, looking up, having fun, getting out of reality, right? But how old are we? And we're out there enjoying the Marvel movies. Right. I think they're doing this juggling act. And like I said, I think an unavoidable side effect of the Marvel formula is you're going to feel like it's the same way.
I agree with that. That's a very good point. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the old shoe.
Well, so I think the way...
Eventually people are going to get sick of the superhero genre.
I don't know. I've heard people bring that up, but you look how long these movies have been around.
Yeah. What?
How long stuff like this has been. Look at Christopher Reeve's Superman. Well, when did that come out? In the 60s?
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
Something like that. Let's say 50 to 60 years of superhero movies. And it's only gotten bigger.
Right. But it's definitely more prevalent now.
For sure.
Especially during the last 10 years. It was every... 2-3 months of superhero movies?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's supposed to be 4 Marvel movies that come out this year, and you know that. We just had the first one in July. Mm-hmm. 6 months left. We still have 3 more Marvel movies. Shang-Chi, Eternals, and supposedly in December, we're supposed to get No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. But look, to answer your big question that I've been dancing around, what does Marvel do from here? I think... they have their formula, right? The only way to shake it up is to have totally different superheroes and superpowers. I think they kind of had that in the first little bit.
Yeah.
Thor's different from what Iron Man can do. Guardians of the Galaxy is very different from Captain America the Winter Soldier, right? And that's because different abilities, different sets. They have the Eternals coming up. That is something very different I think we're going to get, right? Very different storytelling. A lot of different ways of going about it.
And that's the thing. I'd never even heard of the Eternals before.
I'm not super familiar with them.
So it's going to be interesting. So that's the thing. Like, people were invested, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I guess I see a problem that might happen. It might not. I don't know. But I feel like people got married to these characters, right? Mm-hmm. Loved them to death. Iron Man, Captain America, whoever. And those are all disappearing. Mm-hmm. These same people are going to feel, because these are established characters.
They are.
Are they going to feel the same about these Eternal characters and people that are not as well known? Are they going to do a Guardians of the Galaxy and surprise all of us? That's my hope. I hope they do.
That's what I feel like with the Eternals. Look, Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out. Everyone was like, what the is this?
I was one of those.
You look at the trailer and you're like, what is it? Is that Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec? Right? Like, what is going on? People talking raccoon, talking tree. Yeah. Right? Like, and now it's one of the most beloved franchises in modern cinema.
One of my favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
So
the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think, actually is my favorite, but I think that can be pulled off with the Eternals. Shang-Chi is coming up. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to Shang-Chi, and I think it's the way they're going to change it up, is that looks like a very typical Chinese kung fu movie, right? The effects, it looks like a lot of, almost wire work type stuff. It looks like the old Jackie Chan sort of Bruce Lee movies.
Well, I hope so, because those are great movies.
Those are fantastic movies, and I think that's what we're going to get with Shang-Chi, right? But you also have characters that I think people love. Spider-Man, Tom Holland, very beloved.
Yeah.
Right now. Doctor Strange is teaming up with Wanda.
But those are established characters.
Yeah, so you're talking brand new.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works out.
Well, one factor we're forgetting in all this talk of the future MCU is the TV shows. How the TV show's going to be playing a role throughout this.
Well, the end credit scene to this movie plays right into it.
Plays right in. So I'd like to talk about that in the next segment because, like I said, I think a big priority of this movie, maybe not the biggest priority, but definitely one of them, was to set up the future of the MCU. Whether Yelena is the new Black Widow.
Right.
I'm doing air quotes here for the people who aren't watching YouTube. By the way, subscribe to our YouTube. Right, I'm doing air quotes. The new Black Widow.
Yeah.
That type of role. What is the future, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see her.
I'm hopefully
movies.
optimistic.
I am too. Right.
If that makes more.
It's impossible for me not to be optimistic about these.
Yeah. I mean, they've had a few flops, but, well, not money-wise.
They've never had a flop.
Flops in my eyes, I guess you can say.
They've had not so great movies.
I think Captain Marvel 2 is going to be the first flop.
I can see that.
Because it's not time.
You know what we could talk about is
the MCU.
How, look, I say the whole woman power thing with Black Widow, they nail in this movie, I would say. I don't get, we talked about it with, what movie did we talk about? Tron? How Disney has had the formula for strong female characters.
Yeah.
Ray Skywalker, air quotes again, flopping that, but they do it well with Black Widow.
Yeah. I don't feel like it was very forced.
No, not at all.
I mean, there was a lot of females, but
literally a ton, like dozens and dozens,
but it wasn't like it was with Captain Marvel for sure.
No, not at all. So, but I'm saying it's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. But
I know we're scooting right up.
I know because
the break here. I know I want to save some stuff for the next segment. Anyway, stick with us. We're going to continue talking about Black Widow. We're going to wrap it up here in the next segment. Stick with us. This is the Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network, going over Black Widow, and we're going to talk how this ties into the future of the MCU. Now, if you haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, mediocre, it's all right. Go watch it, because look, there are some spoilers, because the great Julia Louis-Dreyfus comes. Val,
I knew I saw her in another. I was going to ask him, like, where is she from?
You didn't recognize her enough to?
I recognized her. Yeah. I'm like, what was it Falcon? I was like, was it Falcon? I can't remember which one it was. So she's
the one who recruits John Walker to be U.S. agent.
Oh, that's right.
In her new group. Now, here's the thing. We now have U.S. agent. We now have whatever her superhero name is going to be. Right?
New Black Widow.
New Black Widow, right? What? And I think this is where they could go into the future, right? Is she going to do the Dark Avengers? Is she doing the Thunderbolts? These anti-hero groups, right? There's talks of Deadpool coming into the MCU, right? Are we going to get the group of anti-heroes? Are we going to essentially get this, really bad comparison? Are we going to get the Suicide Squad of the MCU? Right?
I hope so.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? The group of, somewhat villains doing the good stuff. Is that the future of the MCU?
Well, it depends on how Hawkeye goes. Right, because this is what it sets up. Correct. In my mind, that's how it sets up.
I really think we're going to see an appearance from her in Hawkeye.
Oh, I have to. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that end scene. For all those who don't know, the end scene, right?
Is Val from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Elaine shows up, does her little dance on top of Black Widow's grave.
Yeah, very disrespectful around there, but talks to Yelena about hiring her to go kill Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Which... no way they're going to kill Hawkeye, right?
So why would she do that? So what I got is Elaine is working for Val, right?
Yeah, doing probably some side work.
I mean, he didn't kill her.
No. Look, I think...
So why are they trying to spin it like...
I think Val is somewhat of a villain.
Is she?
I think so.
Okay. So,
and I think she's, for some nefarious purpose that we'll figure out later, is
she like gathering the anti-Avengers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay, well,
maybe. Is the future of the MCU more villains, right? Well, like Loki, right?
Yeah.
Has it already started? Loki, in theory, was a villain. He's been redeemed, but...
So who would be the opposite, right? We got the new Black Widow. We got the new Captain America.
We have U.S. agent.
So who would be the Iron Man?
I would say Hawkeye can almost stay in it because of what Hawkeye has done as Ronin.
So it'd be Ronin. So instead of Hawkeye,
I would say keep Ronin.
I would love...
Which has been confirmed. The Hawkeye director has said that in the Hawkeye TV show we'll see a lot of his
Ronan.
Right.
Thank heavens.
And I also heard a rumor that they're going to be starting up the West Coast Avengers, which is like the cool version of the cool young version of the Avengers. They drive like convertibles and drive around Beverly Hills and stuff. Oh, it's awesome. It's going to rock, dude. If they do that, that's going to rock.
I'll have to trust him.
You got to trust Kevin Feige, man.
Yeah.
But look, there's also like the Moon Knight series is coming out. Blade is coming out. Okay. Moon Knight, Blade, U.S. Agent, New Black Widow. These are all anti-heroes. Yeah. If Deadpool comes in, I think this is the future. And I think Black Widow has set that up because, one could consider for a portion that Black Widow is an anti-hero. She was wanting to get out of the whole Red Room thing we see in this movie, and she did some horrible things to get out of it. Yeah. Right? It was to bring your point of using comedy in an incorrect spot when Red Guardian was hugging the two girls. It's like, you've killed so many people. Your ledgers must be so red.
Dripping with blood.
With blood. To Black Widow, that's not funny. No. Right? That's like her whole reason to get out of it, right?
But to him, it was very...
To him, that's a very Russian thing, right? Yeah. Yes, you've killed so many Americans. Like, amazing, right?
Just dang Russians.
I know those Russians.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, so we'll see where it goes with. But as far as Black Widow goes, I mean, you've bumped it up a little bit.
I would like to consider...
Anything else you want to try to convince me? Give me the good. Your favorite parts of Black Widow.
Favorite parts are kind of part of the action. Maybe not like the fight scene specifically. There's not a lot of...
Now it's going to go back down.
No, hold on. Let me get to it. Not the fight scene specifically, and I know there's not a lot of stakes, but it's what F9 was trying to do, right? Mm-hmm. You be ridiculous, but you keep it in. The prison break scene...
That was good.
That was so much fun,
yeah,
right?
See, that made my score go up.
The banter back and forth, the trying to get him, the improv.
That was good.
Coming off of it.
What a way to die. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
It got weird. Right?
I like the helicopter scene.
No, I did too. I'm just saying it got a little worse as it progressed for me.
Yeah, there's also...
Is that fight scene between... what's his name?
Red Guardian
and
Taskmaster.
Yeah,
that was disappointing. They definitely built it up more in the trailer than I thought. For me, the biggest hit is the Taskmaster.
Yeah, too many cuts. They needed. If they did that big fight, I think they would have been a lot better. If they didn't cut away to the different scenes or whatever, I think that would have been good because I was kind of looking forward to that because I feel like he kept talking about Captain America and Taskmaster was kind of like Captain America with a shield and everything like that. So I was thinking maybe this is his redemption kind of thing.
The only fun parts of Taskmaster are when she is very obviously copying different Avengers moves. Yeah, that was Black Panther, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, all their different signature moves. That's the only fun part.
I did jump. He blew up Natasha's little car.
Oh, when it I knew that was coming because I recognized the scene from the bridge scene from the trailer. I was like, and I thought, I'm like, this must be where, and then I jumped.
I was like,
for sure.
That was intense.
Here's something this movie does way better than F9. I know I keep bringing up family, right? The family ties in this hits way harder, right?
Yeah.
Look, I think we're going to see a lot of that in the new Black Widow's character, right? Because for her, those fake years were real. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big character point that they're going to play off of in the future. Look, her sister was Black Widow, right? She's always seen that. She's always felt that. And now she's gone and she doesn't have that guiding light, right? Because we see in this movie that Natasha kind of holds her hand through this new,
right?
You're out of the Red Room. What do you do now? How do you redeem yourself? You remember everything. You remember who you've killed and stuff like that, right? It now feels very choice. Bucky. Yeah, your choice.
Yeah, very Bucky-like.
Right, so she kind of has that sense. She is a fantastic character. They've written her very well, and that's why I'm so excited to see her. But she has her hand held by Natasha the whole time, which I think is a great family dynamic. Right.
Yeah.
Family.
I had that feeling too when I was watching this. So sorry.
This is more of a family film. In that sense.
Well, it was real for everybody else too. They just didn't admit it as fast as she admitted it. Right.
Well, I think Natasha has had the hardest time not making it feel real. I do believe she says, "Oh, it wasn't real for me," but I think she was just.
Well, at the end, she hugs
heat of the
her.
moment. Yeah. But look, I think it was real for all of them. right? Yeah. There's no way you spend that much time.
Well, obviously for the mom too, where I guess the mom.
That was such a great twist. Look.
Yeah, that was good.
I love that twist.
Yeah.
That's espionage, right? We want to spy. Mission Impossible. That's what I'm talking about, right? The pretending to get caught, but they wanted to get caught. The whole. I love the throwback call. Thank you for your cooperation. Chills, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is classic Natasha. Like, this is like Avengers level.
I did like that part. And then she smashes her nose.
Which I have like this huge fear of nose injuries because I broke my nose as a kid. That was so painful for me to watch, but I hope that we see the rescuing of more widows in the future. Yeah, because I think that'd be fun.
And what are they going to do? All the ones that were rescued?
I don't know. I think maybe I have no idea. I don't think it'll ever be explored in the MCU because I don't think it's big enough to do it. But
fair enough. I agree.
If they have it there, if they want it. Yeah. So we have like 90 seconds left. Big reveal. What did I bump your score up to?
Big reveal. Yeah. 6.8.
I was hoping for the 9. 6.8. So up 0.3. And is that because of my showing the true villain is her past?
Yes, that was good.
Well, you
almost changed my mind on signs. Remember that?
Yes. I do see things that others don't sometimes. Hey, look, thanks for sticking with us as we talk about Black Widow. Next week, we may do Loki. We may do Space Jam. I think the last episode of Loki is this week. So if that's true, I think we'll do Loki. Yeah. And then maybe we'll figure out Space Jam. Space Jam might be a good one if we're in the mood to talk trash for an hour. Yeah. Right. Look, I'm going to go on record now and say I'm going to give this movie a benefit of the doubt. I'm somewhat looking forward to it. I don't like LeBron, but I've been mentally preparing.
Ditto.
Look, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or anything like this, subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We got new stuff coming out on our Instagram all the time. I just put something today saying, describe your worst movie experience ever. Go tell us your story. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been The Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network.